Moses wasn't a myth, but parting the Red Sea is a myth.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How do you know that?
because it doesn't make any sense.
That's right. It contradicts your philosophical presupposition that there's no supernatural God who performs miracle in history. And that's your presupposition, and therefore,
But I'm not saying
obviously,
the
Red Sea was
story
not
is
parted.
without value. The story's not.
Well, great. I think that's wonderful of you.
It's got
to grant it value as a myth. But unfortunately, in the Old Testament, in Exodus, it is not communicated as myth. The parting of the Red Sea is communicated as an historical fact, the work of a supernatural God
How-
who does intervene in human history.
How does when you said it communicates that? I mean, communicates that to you as
No,
an
no, 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 no.
as
Exodus is not a poem. Exodus is not apocalyptic literature. It's not symbolic literature. Exodus is historical narrative. Except it also contains didactic literature, like 20, where
this is your interpretation that it is
No,
historical.
study it yourself. Don't take it from me. Study the Hebrew. If you find that Exodus is poetry,
It would be.
I'm wrong.
It'd be best
If
characterized.
you find that Exodus is apocalyptic literature, I'm wrong.
Historical fiction would be more accurate.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
When was the literary style of historical fiction invented?
just saying.
When was it invented?
The term itself probably really.
When was the literary style of historical fiction invented? When did it begin?
The term to classify that.
The
that genre?
literary style.
The style was probably as old as man himself.
No.
Yeah,
No, sir.
but
There was epic poem.
But the nomenclature is
There was
probably
no
20th century.
historical fiction until hundreds of years after the New Testament was written. It was not a known literary style. Therefore, what you're positing is that a few isolated Hebrews used a literary style called historical fiction with no
Historical-
known predecessor,
no, historical
no known
fiction.
immediate successor for hundreds of years.
Historical
Fine, if
fiction.
you want to believe that, go ahead, but I can't.
Historical fiction with a mythological bent.
No, mythology was around, but not historical fiction, meaning by that historical narrative that was fiction. That literary style did not come about till a few hundred years after the Gospels were written. But
Well,
you want to believe that it's all historical fiction, fine.
I don't know, but that's the way I characterize it. I don't know that for sure, but it's. I don't know. I'm pretty much done.
It's still like an oral. It still comes from an
Thank
oral.
you so much for dialogue, and I appreciate it a lot.
Actually, I want to.
All right, thanks for dialogue, and I appreciate it.